Hello, AAI students and parents. Today we are going to be talking about grades in Empower and how to know what needs to be worked on, as well as how your students are doing in the courses that they have. So I'm going to cover quite a few features, and I'll try to keep this fairly short as we talk about them. So first, as noted in the previous video, it doesn't show on my side, but you all have on your side a progress report printer or view progress report button that's usually right here in between the My Calendar and filter. That is going to be your best friend regarding grades, and I'll show you why. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with the progress report printer. So I have an example one pulled up for you here. So what you're looking at here is essentially a snapshot of how your student is doing in time. So your name will appear, or your student's name will appear right here in this report. So the first section, this is all about their overall progress in the classes. And this is a qualitative report. So these numeric markers indicate the quality of work that is generally being done in those courses. You'll notice that there are several missing. So we don't have anything for PE, we don't have anything for math, don't have anything for Utah history. Remember that math right now is in math space. We are working to bring that data over into Empower, so you only have to go one place, but that is still probably a month away. These others indicate that there has not been any significant work being done on the activities assigned to that class. And that could be for a number of reasons. Maybe the teacher has not entered any data, which is a possibility. In which case I'd ask that you reach out to me and let me know so that I can make sure that the data gets put in there. It's possible that the student has not turned anything in. And it's possible that there's not been anything assigned. So those are kind of the three scenarios that would cause it to be blank right here. So we're going to focus on the ones that we do have scores for. So let's take a look at this CCA course. So the quality of work is a 3, and that's on our standard proficiency scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, with 4 being the highest level of proficiency. This equates to a B. Remember, we don't do pluses and minuses, even though it signifies it here. We don't use those on our transcripts. So he's doing, this particular student, this made-up student, is doing B work. He or she is doing B work in their CCA course. But if we go down and dig a little bit deeper, you'll notice that there are only 2 scores for these standards in the CCA class. In other words, they have only completed 11%, 12% of the course. So even though their quality is good, their quantity is low. So I'm sending this tutorial out at the end of first quarter. So we would expect this to be much closer to the 25% realm. We'd expect 2 additional standards to be met. So that indicates that this student is behind pace. There's some work to be done there, right? Now let's go ahead and take a look at another example. So here in 7th grade ELA, we have a 236. So they are really averaging C work. So the quality is not great. It's basic, right? Intermediate quality. But if you go down and take a look, we'll have to go down to the second page. But if you look at their quantity, see, now we're on page 2. Right here, you'll notice that the quantity is significantly higher. They've already completed 64% of the standards for this course. So the quantity is way up. So they are considered ahead of pace because they're getting a lot done, but their quality is not very good. You'll also notice that they have things like IP scores here. These IP scores indicate in progress, and that means that there is evidence that suggests a level of proficiency on the standard, but that evidence is only a single piece or maybe two pieces of evidence, and that we cannot say with any degree of certainty that they have a proficiency level yet, because we've only seen it one or two times. But this is an example of what else could happen. Now let's go ahead and take a look at, let's go all the way up here. There we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 7th grade science C work here. So let's go find science. There's page 3. This is still math. Here we go, 7th grade science, right? So we have a level 2, and it's 14%, but we only have a single score here. So this is an indication where both the qualitative and quantitative measures are telling us that there's some work that needs to be done here. And again, this can be for a couple reasons. Maybe there haven't been very many activities that are attached to these standards. It could mean, in this case, that we only see a couple pieces of evidence. There's a way to dig into this, and that's what we're going to cover next. So I'm going to shift back here, because as you check grades, you'll be going, remember, back and forth between that progress report viewer and this home screen. So let's say that this class is an example of that report, but there's a test class, and the test class indicates that the qualitative work is not great. So let me show you how to dig in to find out, well, what needs to change? What do we need to do? First thing you can do is click over here on the standard button. And you'll notice here that we have all the standards for the course, same as what's on the report. The difference, though, is that this one is connected to all the evidences that we have. And you'll notice that we have some trend lines here. So we can see, oh, this activity was scored and it was below what the teacher was expecting. It was below the goal score. So we need to go back and fix that. And then there's also an indication, oh, there's a missing activity. We need to go and take care of that missing activity. So you can see that in this screen. And that is true for every single one of these assignments, right? Now, the ones that aren't scored yet either have no activities connected to them or have an activity, but this has not been completed yet. And remember, each of these assignments has an icon typically associated with it. So if we hop out of this screen for a moment, you'll see in this view that each of these icons has a check or has an icon. So in this case, this value check 1 that I just saw, it indicates that it's overdue. I need to do that. So it has populated it on my class activities list. And every one of the activities has something similar. So I'm going to jump into this playlist, for example, and just show you some other examples, right? We have indications that this one was scored, but I need to redo it. This one's missing, very similar to what was in the other screen. But this value check, it's overdue, and it was not something that was in the playlist, so I know I need to get on that. Now, parents and students, you can pin this activity by clicking this pin icon, and if you pin the activity, that has disappeared now, but if you pin the activity, it populates this screen. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page for you. When we pin them, as we see here, and teachers can pin it as well. This one was pinned by the teachers. When you pin them, they stay on that screen until you unpin them or until you take them off. So that's a way to kind of track what needs to be done. So the next up one is this assignment 1 that Miss Roma's pinned for me, but it also has this missing one that I need to do, and you can upload the work right from here. Okay, so utilizing the standards, and you can find it there. That's a great way to find out what's missing. Another way to do that is to go into your class log. And this, of course, gives you updated scores and what has happened in the class, any activities and feedback and all that. But you can also click this View All button, and you can see all of the assignments laid out and what I got on those assignments, as well as if those assignments are missing. Right, so this is a great way to find out, for example, this one I don't have any achieved score on. This is a great way to find out what's actually been done. So let me kind of walk through what this should look like. So if I turn something in and it's been graded, I will have these assignment scores on it. However, if I turn something in, like a physical something into my locker, I can see that it has been done right here. So as you hover over this, you'll notice that it's like, oh, this takes me to my locker. And I can see what I've turned in. So I turned in 2 things and they've both been reviewed. Have I been given any feedback on those? Oh, I have. These look good. Mr. Hagee told me that these are fine. However, you notice the one that does not have anything, it has an upload icon. I can upload something directly here on this screen, but it indicates that it's not been scored and that there's nothing uploaded. So those are the ones that you need to watch out for. Right? So there's nothing been uploaded on either of these 3 assignments, but I have scores for them. So whatever they did in class, I still have scores for them. These ones are missing, so certainly need to look at that. So you can also filter on this screen, which is handy. So if you want to switch classes, you can take a look at all the classes there, but you can look for specific standards, you can look for a specific score, you can look for if it's missing, show me the ones that are marked missing, show me the ones that are not scored. So these are the ones that I need to look at, right? What about the ones that are below goal? So this now becomes my task list. This is what I need to do for this class. Okay, another way to do that same thing is to look, and this one is a little bit higher view, but you can also look on my calendar. And what this does is it aligns, it tells you when the assignments were assigned, but it also tells you when they're due. So we have this value check that was overdue that I missed. It shows up here. There's assignment 4, in-class discussion, like things are happening every week, but I need to go through and make sure that I'm completing all these on a regular basis. So parents, you can actually see when things are coming due for your kids in this calendar view and check in with them and have them show you. You can actually just check on this. And it won't give you all of this, obviously, because I'm a teacher. It gives you some additional options, but you can go to the assignment and see it. And you can see what you're supposed to do just by clicking on it, right? So that gives you some power to kind of check what's going on. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about is, well, how do I know how close they are to graduation? And for that, we're going to take a look at the My Learning Path tool. So we're going to change this area to high school diploma. And what you'll notice here is, now this is on me and it's fake data, but what you'll notice here is that it populates with classes that I have partial credit in, or classes that I have completed, or that I'm currently enrolled in. So I'm enrolled in art, but I have some media standards that I did in this class. I also have some language arts standards that I've completed. So utilizing these tools, we can really get a good idea at where they are in their graduation requirements. So I haven't completed any of my English, any of my fine arts, but this will populate as we go through the course of the school year, and you'll be able to track how close they are to graduation.